On track for $16 million retirement despite not contributing since I left medicine 3 years ago at age 45. I'm going to tell you something that makes me, I'll just say, super uncomfortable. I had to get lots of coaching myself to share all of this because we have so much messaging that good girls don't talk about money. Money is gross. Women physicians, we are practically trained to never, ever, ever talk about money. Don't tell your salary, what you make, what's in your accounts. Definitely don't share what you're on track to make for retirement. But why I'm sharing is because this silence is costing us. Making a physician's salary does not create wealth. I think we as children get this idea if I'm a doctor, everything's going to be fine. That's not true. The physician's salary, especially if that's all you're doing, will not be enough to retire us. We have to know this. So we have to be talking about this. We were never supposed to work forever. And not all of us will even get the chance to work forever. Though I don't think any of us should work forever. But some of us, a health crisis will take us out. I've definitely had health instances that took me out of medicine for a period of time, or a spouse or a loved one. I never want you to have to choose between the person you love to take care of them and the paycheck you need. I want you to have enough money invested that eventually you don't even need your hospital paycheck at all. And that's why I'm going to tell you exactly how much money we have, how we're using it, all the decisions, the reasoning behind it, how we got to be on track for $16 million in our retirement funds, when we plan to start withdrawing them at age 68, which is 20 years from now. I have not contributed one penny to my retirement account the past 3 years. I will put in 0 pennies into this account for the rest of my life. I'm done. I'm not putting any more money into it. Not because I don't have money to put into it, because I don't need more than $16 million for retirement. I'll go into all the calculations as we go through this series, but I cannot even spend down $16 million when I hit 68. I will not be able to spend that much money, and I don't plan to. My plan is when I hit $16 million, I'm going to just live off the returns of a $16 million investment. My $16 million investment will stay $16 million. I will live off the interest. And I will leave my kids a $16 million trust fund that will have guardrails on how much they will use exactly 4% a year. At most, I'm going to have that money locked down because my plan is I want to retire. I want to retire my husband. I want to retire my kids. I want to sure my grandkids have college taken care of. And a $16 million retirement fund does exactly that. By the way, I'm not telling you, I mean, and this $60 million number is conservative. It's assuming the stock market doesn't do as well as most people project it to do. It's assuming that, or I'm not telling you about at this point, but I will go into this in future episodes. I'm not talking about my personal wealth portfolio. I'm not even talking about my business wealth portfolio, which is now over $100,000. And I just started focusing on it the past 12 months. We're talking about just my retirement funds. So as I started playing around with experimenting on social media, sharing some of this story, because it very well ties into the mission of my group coaching programs, is for physician women to be able to be the moms, the humans they want to be, and be a doctor and be able to leave medicine. Talking about wealth is a really important part of this that I've never talked about before. I started getting really good questions. How is this even possible? What salary were you making? Did you inherit wealth? Are you a trust fund baby? So I got all these questions that really shocked me. I was thinking, okay, it sounds like not everyone took my path, right? And this would be really interesting for people. It's just when we're in our own bubble, it's like, oh, I'm sure everyone did something like this or better. But I got the sense of this, there's a real need for women to start talking about money in a tangible way so we can all make more, so we can have an exit plan for medicine that doesn't involve us downsizing our life. So welcome to my Unhinged $16 million retirement series. Very important disclaimer, I'm not certified to give any financial advice. So I'm not going to tell you to do this and do that and do that and open this fund and put this amount of money ever. Never. I'm going to tell you what I did with my money. And I'm going to tell you what no other financial coach will tell you. I'll be showing you like, where is the money? How did I decide? Where did I lose money? Where did I make mistakes? Where did I gain money? Where did I hit a lottery of sorts in the stock market? So I'm going to be telling you what no one else will tell you because my goal is not to brag, but it's to tell you there's so much possibility no matter where you're starting. And then you can decide if any of that's for you or not. Okay, so to address some of the questions, people are like, this numbers don't make any sense. How did you get started? I also want to say to the social people who ask me on social media, I don't understand this math. I showed them the math, paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs. And then they were like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So we're going to get there, but there's no point in me giving you a 9-hour summary of my financial decisions. Instead, I'm just going to pull apart the major key decisions, the unhinged moments, the controversial decisions, the rationales, episode by episode. And by the end, you're going to be like, oh, dang, that makes sense. Right? Okay. So let me just give you a couple of questions you're going to be asking. Were you a trust fund baby? Did you marry a wealthy man? No, I didn't. I married a broke man. And I was broke too. And we did not start off rich. I inherited five-figure debt from my family, not wealth. So I had to dig out of a hole, fund my own way to college and med school. I spent more, like you, more than a decade in training with two small babies, one in med school, one when I was chief resident. We had a $1,200 daycare bill, $50,000 a year I was making, supporting my spouse who was going through med school, loans, hundreds of thousands of dollars of loans, the whole 9 yards, while we're trying to build two medical careers. My first attending salary, 180,000. So folks who were thinking I made celebrity money in private practice, absolutely not. I was broke as a joke. Now, at that time, I've been around for a while. At 2012, 108,000 at that job was a record. They had never hired someone higher. But that was still broke as a joke, right? Okay, and then I went into academics. My career was pretty much in academics. My last job was really more like private practice, except for the pay. I was broke as a joke there. I was in pathology, folks. I was the lowest paid of the lowest paid of the doctors. What I'm trying to say, I was not on a get rich quick scheme for medicine. I was not on a get rich quick plan. And yet, here we are on track for a $16 million retirement fund that will retire me, my husband, my kids, and fund my grandkids' college at least. Here's where it's a really interesting story that had me think I need to bring this to the podcast. I started sharing this on social media, and someone reached out who is well known for being a physician wealth expert. Actually, several physician wealth experts reached out to me, and they were like, I don't understand this math. I don't understand these calculations. I've done everything by the rules. I've followed all the financial coaches, the financial experts inside and outside of medicine. I've done it all perfectly. I am nowhere near your numbers. So here's what I want you to know. They were nowhere near my numbers because they did it perfectly. I didn't do it perfectly. I went way outside the box in some areas. Some areas I was in the box. But the idea is that this is the whole premise of this series. Doing everything perfectly is not the answer. And why I'm saying this is because there's a lot of women listening who are like, oh, I didn't do it perfectly. And I want you to know this podcast is for you. This is not the perfect money podcast. There are plenty of people out there who will give you a final checklist and make you feel dumb and ashamed of yourself. I've been in those rooms. This is not that. This is for people who didn't do things perfectly. And you can still get to the $16 million retirement fund, maybe even faster than the people who are doing it perfectly. The typical advice people are going to say, pay off your debt. You can't afford those European vacations. You can't afford those handbags. What are you doing in first class? Get rid of that Starbucks coffee, is what you'll hear typical financial coaches say. None of that here. I want the fancy things. Did you know I got to the $16 million retirement fund and I'm leaving this Friday for a 3-week trip through Europe, first class. We'll be going through Europe. And this is like a typical, I take a lot of trips and they're all first class. Last week I was in Toronto. I mean, the week before I was at this beachside, 2 weeks before a beachside resort. I'm not going to tell you to cut or downsize your life at all. I don't think that's how you get to a $16 million retirement. Who wants to save money if you have to live like you're broke? Who wants to save money if you have to live like a resident? We were not supposed to. The whole advice, live like you're a resident. You're never going to hear that here. You should not live like a resident. When I was a resident, I was living like an attending. Bought a house, had the babies, got 2 cars, took vacations. We are not going to learn. And yet here I'm looking at on track for $16 million retirement. I'm going to show you how to build wealth while making your life bigger, not smaller. There is a lot of places you can go where people will tell you how to do things perfectly. how you should have done 20 years ago something different. This series is for the rest of us. Maybe your kid is 17 and you just realized there's a thing called a 529. Not a problem. I actually think this is a great strategy not to do a 529. Maybe you're 47 and you just don't understand the stock market. Maybe you've been making a physician top salary for 15 years and you have no idea where your money went. You were too busy surviving residency, raising kids, taking call, trying to figure out what hair day are we at, right? The pajama day versus hair day at school. We're too busy doing all that to optimize every financial decision. Good, you're my person. I didn't do things perfectly either. I forgot the 529, turned that into a strategy. I got too busy to save for my kids' college, and now I'm really glad I didn't. And I actually recommend that to people I meet. I made incredibly powerful decisions, and I also made mistakes along the way. And I'm going to show everything here on this series. I planned to die with my student loans. I was like on my death stone, it's going to say she barely paid back her student loans. All she touched was the interest. She died with hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that was part of my plan. And then they got forgiven. I essentially canceled my life insurance policy. Now, the whys behind these decisions are critical. Don't be recklessly canceling things. I'm going to show you why. Stay tuned. I negotiated, I invested early. I'm aggressively investing now. I have some accounts that are ultra aggressive. A lot of my decisions were unconventional, maybe a little unpopular. Maybe some people say unhinged. I stand by all of them. I'm not going to force you to do any, but I want you to see that there's so much possibility, and possibility gets you to $16 million in your retirement fund. In this space, contrast to a lot of other rooms I've been in about financial wealth, you will never be shamed about what you know or what you don't know or what no one ever told you. I'm never going to tell you you're behind or that you should have done something else. I'm never going to make you feel stupid because you didn't know something that no one ever taught you. I felt that a lot when I talked to financial coaches and wealth experts. I'm never going to tell you you ruin your financial future. You got to work forever. You need to cut back your coffee. The thing you've been calling a financial mistake is brilliant strategy. You just didn't know it yet. I'm going to show you why. I'm going to help you build from there. I'm going to open up the numbers and show you conventional, unconventional, unhinged decisions that have us on track for approximately 16 million in retirement accounts alone. Not because I want you to copy me, not because I'm a guru, not because I'm a wealth expert. I'm definitely not a financial advisor certified to give you any advice. It's because I want you to see what's possible. You haven't ruined anything. It is not too late. We are just getting started. You are in the right place at the right time. This is a no shame money zone. Buckle up. Send me your nosiest money questions. Nothing is off limits. Welcome to the Unhinged 16 million retirement series. If you love what you hear, this is the work we do inside of Next Level Freedom. Book a free sales call at the link below. I'll see you there. Make sure you share this with all your girlfriends too. Can we get rich together? Yeah? Okay, great. See you there. Bye.